President Karam Chaudhry for his remarks. I want to thank so many of the other leaders, whether they founded or are leading this organization, for all of the words that they have shared. This is an endorsement that is immensely meaningful to me, not just politically, but also personally. It's an endorsement that reminds me of a question I was asking myself just a few days ago. I had gathered with a number of New Yorkers on 34th Street and 1st Avenue. There was an event where we would race the bus, the M34, to show just how slow that bus was, that we could beat it just by walking. And as we were having a press conference, there was a man there who was heckling me, who heckles me often about being Muslim. And he yelled, "You will never belong here. You will never be a New Yorker." And as I heard his words, I thought of a moment that happened a few days earlier, where I had been walking with my wife Rama through Astoria Park, through the parking lot towards the soccer fields. And we heard the sound of chappals coming behind us. And I looked. It was a young girl in a hijab saying, "Mr. Mamdani, can you wait for a photo?" I said, "Yeah, I can wait." So she called back to her sister, and another sister, and another sister, and their mother. They all came. There was this lovely Muslim family, the beating heart of which were these young Muslim girls. The youngest of which, who had stopped me, was about 6 years of age. And in her eyes, I saw the vision that we have been leading this campaign with. A vision of a city that belongs to all of us. A vision of a city that each one of us can afford to call our home. And I saw in her eyes the understanding that in that city, she could be whatever she wanted to be. And I say this here with Zohran because we are speaking about many things all at once. We are speaking about public safety. We are speaking about the police department. We are speaking about what it means to be immigrants. But I hear in these same conversations, whether I'm speaking with Bangladeshi officers or I'm speaking with a New Yorker who works in sanitation or one who doesn't even have a public sector job, a desire to know that they too could be this city, that they too could be seen as the face of this city. And so the other day when I was with Imam Shamsi Ali, our honorary Bangladeshi Imam, we were at the 96th Street Masjid. And there are many in this city, some maybe in this room, who recall the moment during the debates when I grew tired of the former governor mispronouncing my name again and again and again. And I told him how he should say it, and I told him how we should spell it. And I asked the brothers and the sisters at the 96th Street Mosque to raise their hands if they too have ever had to deal with someone mispronouncing their name again and again. And I saw so many hands shoot up of brothers and sisters, uncles and aunties who have had to deal with the most basic indignity. And so when I corrected Governor Cuomo in that moment, I did it not just for myself, but to teach everyone a lesson. That the days of that disrespect are over. I do not ask that you agree with everything that I believe in, but I ask that you at least address me by the name that I was given. And that is what we must ask for as New Yorkers. And yet we know in this city and in this country, equality, respect, these are not things that are given to you. These are things you have to win. To me, the story of an organization like Zohran is also an organization of officers understanding that together you are stronger. That as an individual you can be cast aside, but as an organization it is hard to ignore the message of all that you do. And so what this means to me today, to have the endorsement of those who have been standing up and serving this city. And I have had the pleasure and the privilege of getting to know Detective Islam's family in these last few weeks. And it means so much to me that this event was rooted in meeting at his home. At his home where I learned of the man that he was. A man who would buy his sisters the same Eid gifts that he bought for his wife. A man who would trim his father's beard himself. A man who would pick up the phone when brothers older than him called him for advice. A man who put the shield on in the morning to protect this city, and when he took it off, he still continued to protect the people around him. And I know that in the lessons of Detective Islam, I also learned the lessons of each one of you who do that same work, who are ready for that same sacrifice, that same service. And it is an honor to stand here, not in front of you, alongside you. Because that is how I want to lead this city, alongside New Yorkers. I want to lead this city listening to the officers who have told me again and again of what is driving 200 officers a month to leave the department. The difficulties that come with forced overtime, the difficulties that come with having to pick up the phone for any issue that a New Yorker faces, the difficulties that come with an inability for our city to reckon with what is necessary to actually provide public safety. And I will look to Jigon as I do now, as a partner in delivering that public safety. So I thank you, and I give you this commitment, that in the New York City I will lead, it is a city where it will be excellence, where it will be merit, that we make our decisions on. Yes. The beauty of a new generation is that it is unencumbered by that of the past. When I leave this city, I will not make my decisions on who you know or where you come from. I will make my decisions on the job that you do. And I will leave you with this. I have been asked time and time again, what does it mean to be the first Muslim mayor of New York City? And I think of what my grandparents taught me, Yusuf and Kulsum, my dada and dadi, that to be a good Muslim is to be a good person. It is to help those in need and harm no one. And so as Imam Shamsi Ali said, I have said proudly that I am Muslim. There have been many well-intentioned uncles who told me, you need not tell everyone. And I've said, no, this is a part of who I am. This is a part of how I see the world. This is a part of my values. And we are gathered here today because we are proud of what we did in the primary, proud of starting at 1% and then winning a race by nearly 13%, proud of the fact that we won the most votes in New York City primary history. And we know that the job is not yet done. This is not a formality of an endorsement. This is a commitment for us to work together to deliver a general election victory in November. Because I do not want us to tell the story of a campaign that won a primary and then struggled in a general. I want us to tell the story of a campaign that then delivered the first Muslim mayor in New York City's history. So I thank you. I echo the calls that have been made from this stage. I look forward to the partnership that we will continue to have. And I say that this is an opportunity for us to tell this city and to tell this country and the world that Muslims don't just belong in New York City. We belong in City Hall as well. Thank you so much. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
you. Everyone, come up to the stage if you want to take a quick picture. You know, we don't have time, but everybody, if you come up to the stage, we'll take one group picture. One big group picture. So please line up in the front, and then we'll take a big group picture.
September 7th, we are having an
I want to